Most of the job that we are doing with our certificate is a slavery with packaging. And I want to let you know, even you that are working, don't be deceived by your salary. Can your salary take you for the next 5 months if they don't pay you? That is where you have to know that you have to run. That Bible says it is good that you bear burden in the youth age. Let's use our youth age to carry the load. The energy is there, the earth is there. A time is coming when it will not be possible. I don't want to that when you grow old, you'll be calling your children to survive. Because the Bible says a righteous man live well for children, not making the children retirement benefits. Don't let your certificate deceive you. Most of the job that we are doing with our certificate is a slavery with packaging. I'm begging you, please work. This is the time. You know, at this age, you can do 3 jobs. The head is there, the age is there, the brain is there. A time is coming, we will not be able. A time is coming, age will make us ashamed to do certain kind of work. You are in your youth age. Thank God for prayer, but nobody said prayer. I always say it. Prayer is never a commercial product. If you pray for 8 hours, you will still need a product to sell to have money. I want to beg us. Don't be deceived. I'm working now. After I'm working. Old age poverty is the worst. People always get deceived by their salary when they are working. When they retire, that's when wahala comes. Let me tell you, anybody who is living from salary 1 to salary 2 is a potential poor man. Anybody that even before the month ends, the salary has finished is a poor man. It only has packaging. Anybody that is business cannot function without him or her is a poor man. So when you see the list of the rich in the world, they count people who have products, people who have set up system. I'm begging this church, please, wake up. Wake up. Are you working? I'm working. What is your salary? I'm collecting 250. Don't be deceived. For what distance can that salary take you? And you are not rich until you have cash flow. Thank God for prayer. Prayer will give you a potential. Prayer will give you an opportunity. Prayer can enlighten you. But to have money, you must solve problems. You must answer questions. You must provide service. Out of the 3, when you have any or the 2, it doesn't matter whether you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, you're an Igbo, you're an Hausa, people will pay you. Anytime you want to buy watermelon, do you ask the Malam, are you a Yoruba? When you want to buy onion, do you ask? When your vehicle broke down that you did mechanic, do you ask whether it's born again? How many times have you asked for Kanaiza, are you born again? Because born again will not put money in your pocket. Service we do. So you go to vulcanizer not because it's born again, but because it has service to render. You go to mechanic, you go to rewire, you go to hairdresser, you go to barbing salon, you go to laundress because they have a value to offer. My dear brother, don't be deceived by salary. Don't be deceived by little business you are doing. Do more.
Pastor Bayo Oluwayemi is a breath of fresh air in Nigeria. And I have to say that whenever I saw his video, there is always something to learn from it. There's always something to learn from it. And I know that some of the people who came across my videos, I mean, those who don't know me that well and might have just stumbled on one of my videos, might think that I am just out there bad-mouthing preachers. They might just see that one video where I am criticizing or calling out a man of God for their terrible takes on society and just use that one video to judge me. But if they took their time to go through other videos that I have done in the channel, they will realize that, honestly, I am not against religion. I am not against people believing in something. I am not against people giving if they want to and are doing it with the right reasons in mind. I am not against all these things. And there are men of God whom I really, really like. You have Pastor Bayo Oluwayemi or Pastor Dr. Ebedamina. I really, really admire this man of God. I also like John C. Suleimanu. Even though sometimes he said things that really get into my skin, but I think he is a good man of God. There are people like that which I like. But the point is, some men of God like, what's his name again? I've forgotten. Apostle Michael Orokpo have used fear to kind of like manipulate the people. Like all they talk about is Satan, the devil, the enemy, the this, the that, the this, which I find so poor, because I believe that we as human beings have certain things that we must do for ourselves, that we are responsible for certain things in our lives. And if our lives are going the way they are going, we have contributed in one way or the other. That is what I believe. And I also believe that we must be held accountable for our actions and decisions. And no person should just relegate all their responsibility to an imaginary entity whom they call Satan or the devil. I believe that this is just pure laziness or ignorant, or you're just trying to push all the blames away from yourself. When you start saying that an action I took was as a result of an imaginary creature forcing my hands, this is just laziness. And this is just a method for you to deflect all accountability. It's wrong. But if you hear somebody like Pastor Bayo Oluwayemi preaches and tells the people to be accountable for themselves and to take responsibilities and to take charge of their lives and to remember that only them and only themselves can help themselves, then you know this is someone who deals with reality. When you see Pastor Bayo saying that after church on Sunday, if your business is in an area that has activities on Sunday, go and open your shop. Forget about staying home on Sunday, because people do work on Sundays. The doctors, the nurses, the pilots, the taxi drivers, the bus drivers, and so many other people work on Sundays. Now, there's nothing wrong about going to church. There's nothing wrong about serving the Lord. But you should not say to yourself that today is Sunday and I have an obligation not to work on Sunday. You shouldn't say that. And that is what the man of God is saying. You must do more than less. Always endeavor to do more, not less. So I want us to watch this other video by another man of God who is going to explain to us why salary can only take us this far. That there's just but only so much we can do with our salaries, and that we have the responsibility to kind of like increase our salaries, or better still, create wealth for ourselves and not be solely dependent on our salaries. Let's hear what this man of God has to say.
There is no rich man on earth that is a salary earner.
There's no rich man on earth who is a salary earner.
None. Everyone that is wealthy today, they don't depend on salary alone. Mm-hmm. Number two, there is no rich man on earth that has only one source of income.
Never.
Not one. Number three, every rich man on earth, all of them without fail, real estate is part of what they use to retain their wealth. Schools were not created to make you rich. They were created to discipline and train you to function the way those that need you want you to function. So if you meet with elderly people in their 70s or in their 80s, and they are to ask you, they won't ask you what course do you study. They will say, what is your discipline? That's what they do. They won't say, what course do you study?
Yes.
They say, what is your discipline? That means, what have you been disciplined to become? That's why all your life, you have an identity. You go to school, when you come out, they say, what's this? I say, I'm doctor, I'm engineer. You forget your name. You now start introducing yourself with the title they give you because you went to school to be trained to become what they want you to become. So there was nothing wrong in education in the days of our parents. But what they did not realize was that the colonial masters were using this for a purpose. That is why we still have the problem today. So when you go to school, they teach you to become this, and then you become it. But the world has evolved. We have moved from industrial age now. We are now in the age of technology. We are in what we call the fourth industrial revolution. The fifth one is emerging now. So all those things now, don't forget that when we were growing up, if you say you want to be an actor, you say, you want to be a footballer, hey, village people. Today now everybody wants to be a footballer. But all those things have now expired. Now everybody wants to move to the next level, IT, tech, and all the tech. So that's so now, when you go to school, you learn, you come to use. But in order for them to keep you for 5 years or 4 years, they have to teach you what you need and what you don't need. Over 80% of what you learn in school today is useless when you graduate.
Over 80%.
Yes.
It's useless. When
UIDX.
Over 80% is useless. Now, number two, the world that existed when you do, is it the matric they will do first? Convocation.
Matric first, convocation last.
The word that existed when you did matric, by the time you are doing convocation with the next round, that word is no more in existence. Because every 5 years there's a new world. 2019 and now are two different worlds. Pre-COVID, post-COVID. In 2019, nobody will ask you, is it virtual? It was not in our vocabulary. That's a new word. Before 2019, nobody will say, I want to work remotely. So if you are still now oppressing, no, you cannot do this. It's because you are still an analog man in a digital age. You don't realize that things have changed. So companies are now rewriting policies, rewriting HR policy. Why? Because it's a new world. So people that are now telling you go to school, go and study this, go and study that, they are not bad people, but they are expired people. They are sincere, but they are sincerely wrong. They are telling you to go and do something that is useless. They are telling you to go and prepare to solve problem of yesterday instead of preparing you to solve tomorrow's problem. So they are no more relevant. So go to school to study a course that will solve today and tomorrow's problem. Not yesterday's problem. Because with the advent of AI, fourth industrial revolution, animatics, robotics, 3D printing, forget it all. All these courses you are studying is useless. So if you say you are doing medical doctor, medicine is expiring. Right now, medicine has expired up to 70%. We are 30% of medicine because there is nothing you want to do in medicine that AI cannot do, that machine cannot do, that robots cannot do. So if you are going to study medicine now, you are wasting your life away. And people are still starting now. They are entering school year one to go and do 7 years, and they will spend 50,000, 100,000. They will spend money, dollar, borrow money, student loan for the next 15 years. Now, why am I saying don't do that? Because the need are limited. So if we used to need 2 billion doctors, now we need 500,000. Just using that as a statistic. So the need is now reduced. And if all of you are rushing there, you will have nothing to do. So go and do my research. Fact check this. Majority of people now have master's degree that they are not using.
Yes.
Why? Because by the time they finish school, no job. Oh yeah, Kuku will master. Sai will master. They'll do master. By the time they now want to get a job, they will now use the BSc to go and get a job. Because they can't get a job. So there are a lot of people with masters now working with the lower degree. What is all that? You are a master over nothing. Why? Because schools don't teach you financial intelligence. So everybody's going to school. When you now finish the school, you now want to look for a job. Who should now create the job?
That
so
you are
any
looking
education
for.
that is not teaching you how to become a job creator is a useless education. Any education that is not equipping you to begin to earn and add value to the environment is a expired education. So we're not saying don't go to school, get us right. But we're saying if you are going to go to school, the way the creator intended it is everybody is born with gift, talent, and potential. Everything that the spider needs to spin a web is inside the spider. Your gold is tied to your gift. Your treasure is tied to your talent. Your profit is tied to your potential. So the way you're supposed to do is discover what you have, then you now go and train to develop what you have. Then you deploy it. So if you know people have studied medicine that are now fashion designer. People have studied architecture that are now cooks. So if you know you are a cook, Once you have discovered that it's cooking, go to cooking school straight. Spend 1 year and start saying, these are the things you need to look for. So if you are listening to me right now, number one, what do you love to do? What is that thing that you love doing it? That you just love it? What is that thing that if you are doing it, you don't get tired?
It comes easy.
It just comes easy. People will struggle. I've written over 100 books today. How did I know I was good at writing? It's this. I just love writing. And what is that thing that is so easy for you to do, but difficult for others to do?